Okay, YouTubers, this is Joe from ArtAlienTV. Another game of interplanetary I Spy going on here, back on Mars, back in Gale Crater. And we have what looks like another helmet. And this is pretty cool, this one actually. I only found this last night. I've managed to find it on the JPL, Jet Propulsion page here. And this was taken years ago, this image. Here we have it. And you've got these large blocks and boulders and stuff in the foreground. This is on a sort of on a ridge line, and was taken way back in 2015 from Sol 957. Okay, so this is going quite a long way back actually. So the object we're looking at here is on this ridge at the top. And it's just here. You can see a very smooth shaped object here with a bright reflection on it. Okay, so I looked it up on the Gigapans. There's 2 Gigapans with it in here. There's probably more actually, but these are the PDS ones done by Neville Thompson, which are really good. And here it is. If you zoom in too far, it gets blurred because it's not really in focus. There's also another one here, another Gigapan, the same spot. But this is a smaller Gigapan. In fact, it's probably slightly better, this one, because there's it puts less stress on your mobile device if you're going to look it up. So I'll have a link to this one, but this one here is a much bigger Gigapan, which is fine if you're on your laptop or something. And it shows the mountain up here, Mount Sharp, the Mystery Mountain, with all the buildings and weird stuff going on up here. And there seems to be a kind of building here and up here. I'll do a couple of clips of these and put them in at the end for you, as usual. But today we're going to concentrate on the helmet. Now, is this part of a statue or is it actually a helmet? That is the question. So I'm going to shut that one down now because that's using up a lot of memory. Here it is. I'll zoom out and just give you you look between these 2 largest rocks here and go up above here, okay? It's pretty simple. It's pretty much dead center in the image near the top. So you just zoom straight in there and there we have it, okay? And you've got a nose guard here, you've got a point to the helmet and a lovely curve coming round here. Now, you may think it's not a helmet. I do. Why do I think that? Well, because I've got a whole bunch of other ones I've found. And what I'll do is I'll give you a real quick look at some of these if you haven't seen them before. A lot of you may have done. Some of my older subscribers may have seen some of these before. But if you're new to the channel, like a lot of you are, especially from Russia, welcome on board if you're a new subscriber. There are lots of these, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to put all these in a special playlist just about Mars helmets, nothing else. There would be about 6 or 7 videos probably. I'm going to put them all in a playlist, and I'm going to put them at the end of the video. When you get right to the end, some cards will come up with the playlists on, and you can just click on that, okay? So there's this one, Mars statue / helmet on building foundations. This was done, I found this years ago, back in 2014, early on. Okay, I'll just play a little bit of that. Here it is, got the nose part, you've got an eye socket there, and you've got the helmet. This is on the foundations of the remains of a building. Okay, let's let that play through a little bit. Pretty grungy image. I may go back over some of these and redo them because I've since discovered that there are slightly better quality images. Oh dear, it's not letting me play it. Okay. My graphics card is struggling. I'll come back to that. There's this one. I've done a couple of videos about this. Martian helmet in official NASA image. This also has that sort of curve to the back of it and a point. But this one may have had a crest on it. It has some detail here. It looks like there was a crest joined to it which may have broken off. And it has a back plate and some interesting details. This was a cool one. You can actually see the shape of it here. Really cool. It's pretty clear. And it's human sized, this one. Perhaps a bit smaller than human size. Not tiny. I would say, I don't know. Sort of child size, I would say. Like a lot of the things on Mars, they're not quite full size. And often they're very, very small. As I'll show you in a minute. just some comparisons to the texture here between the materials. That's a World War One helmet from Germany. It's got a similar shape. It's not the same, of course. This looks like a visor here and a neck guard in the back. And it still seems to have the remains of someone's head in it. Got a chin and some teeth here. Could be wrong, of course. The helmet may go around the other way. This may be the front of the helmet, this may be the back. But it seems to have a kind of visor-like shape to it here. Okay, so you can go through and watch these. There are some pretty cool, cool comparisons in here. There we go. Just for shape comparison, just to give you an idea. There was this one. This is the first one I found, I think, and this is very, very small. This is literally only a couple of 2 or 3 inches from here to here, and is a bit vague, but it has a very short nose guard. Now that says to me that the person that would have worn this, if this is a helmet, and it does look like one, the person that would have worn this would have been very small, a midget, with very short, stubby nose. Okay, unlike the one I'm about to show you, which has a much longer nose guard. But the one in here is more like this. The one I'm about to show you is probably more like one of these, with a longer nose guard here, and some different details. Okay, so I won't play all of that. Let's flick through. Is it gonna? It's struggling. Right, let's stop that. Okay, graphics card is struggling. There's also this one. Now this one also seems possibly to have the occupant still inside it. I've since redone, I think, this video. I think I've got a better version of this, and what I'll do is I'll put loads of clips in at the end of the video anyway, as well as link you to the new playlist. Yeah, I've done some better enhancements to this. This has still got a crest on the top, and what I've done is I've coloured it in just so you can see the different parts here. And this crest seems to have hair draped over this rock. Okay. Now, I think I've got somewhere some better enhancements of this. Let's just flick through that. Is it going to let me play? Yeah, I mean, that is... I could do a lot better job than that now. This was also done. This is Mars Warrior Night Skull in helmet. This was done in also 2014. So that's quite an old video, that one. So we got that one. We got that one. You got a cheek guard here. You got the helmet crumpled with a small nose protector there, a nose piece. Okay, very short. Now this does tally with some of the morphology of some of the Martians that we found, or remains of Martians, I should say, who seem to have very small dwarf-like features. They're literally only 1 or 2 feet tall. And this is in scale with that. So what we're looking at on Mars here is definitely at least 2 different types of Martians. We're looking at large, almost or just below human-sized Martians, around 5 foot tall, perhaps taller. And then we've got tiny Martians that seem to be below 2 foot tall, about 1.5 feet, something like that, with very small heads and small bodies. And I found shoes, I found helmets, I found all sorts of tools and weaponry, and a lot of these things are very small. They're not human size. So without further ado, let's show you the new find and see what you think of it. Let's look at the image further back first. We got it here. There it is. And now I've highlighted it and brightened it right up. It's a metallic object. It's very reflective on top, much more than these other rocks around it, and it has a nose guard here and a very fine curve to it, and looks like some damage to the cheek plate here. It looks like it's been smashed, or someone's whacked it with a blunt instrument or something. Okay, let's have a look at a close-up. This is slightly enhanced. That's as it comes from the Gigapan. There it is enhanced. I've pushed the contrast there to bring the shadows out and the shape. It's pretty clear. It's not amazingly clear, but considering it's way off on a ridge line, 20 meters away or something, it's not bad. And this also isn't full size. This, I would say, is about half human size. I couldn't tell you exactly, but it doesn't look like a full-size helmet, although it could be. That may just be me not working out the distance very well. There it is further back, there it is again. Okay, so I won't spend ages showing you all these because you can look at them properly at the end of the video as usual, and I'll have links to all these images as well. Okay, so you can have a look yourself. You can take an image clip straight off your screen on the Gigapan, like I did. I advise using a high quality image clipper, one that will save in PNG format, PNG format, or bitmap, BMP format, like the one I have. This one here is pretty cool. It takes high quality images and it saves them as bitmap files, BMPs, which are high quality, and they're 200 dots per inch. So you don't lose any quality when you clip it. If you clip it and save it as a JPEG, it may downgrade, and if you start processing the image, you'll have to convert it to something else anyway. So that's what I would advise. So there are lots of image clippers out there. Some of them you can attach to your, a browser. This one's pretty good. Awesome screenshot. You can just take captures with that. But that won't do bitmaps. That will only do. Let's do one. That will only do pings, which are pretty good, but not amazing. Okay, so ideally you want one that takes images at 200 ppi, pixels per inch. That way you don't downgrade the images as you work with them. Okay, so there we have it. Let's zoom out. Let's see if we can work out the size. Can't really tell. It may well be human size, this helmet. Helmets are surprisingly small. If you ever go to sort of a museum or something, I've got a whole bunch of them up here. This is similar to this one. It's not the same. It's shorter, but it has a long nose piece like this, and has this sort of nice shine on the top, and a nice curve to it. Let's just compare that curve. Look at that curve there. That is really nice. And you've got a slight point. And you've got the nose guard coming right down, and this also looks like it's been whacked. I would have expected that to be straighter. Normally these are quite straight. It looks like someone's whacked this with a hammer right in the face there, and there's a dent here, and this is kind of crumpled here, and it's pushed the nose guard in. There may even be, in this helmet, the remains of the person that was wearing it, like I showed you in this other thing here, like this. Let me play that through a little bit, if it'll let me. Yeah, it might just about play. But this browser isn't very good, so when I have too many things up on the page, it struggles a little bit with my graphics card. I mean, I did a lot of work on this one. There are thousands, like on Earth, there are thousands and thousands of different types of helmets. And I doubt I'll find one that will match this one on Mars. I've never found one that match any of these exactly. All you can do is show the ones that are similar in shape. This doesn't mean that these helmets are on Earth, on Devon Island. They're not. Devon Island is uninhabited, or it has been uninhabited for many, well, pretty much forever, apart from a couple of whaling ships that used to go there, and of course NASA used to try out one or two of the rovers there to test them. So saying that it's on Devon Island is not good enough. I'm afraid that Devon Island is covered in snow for something like 48 weeks of the year, or 50 weeks of the year, something like that. Okay, and it's covered in grass and moss. So if these were taken on Devon Island or somewhere else, we would see plants. If anything, the Mars Gale crater looks more like the Chilean desert. That's the nearest you'll find to it on Earth. It's the driest place on Earth. But even the Chilean desert has plants and cacti and things like that, and it's not the same. And I also got this image up. This is one of the first images that I saw that really got me in looking into Mars images. Before that, I was into UFOs, but there's so many fake UFO videos and clips out there. They're so easy to fake now that I just don't bother with them unless I see a UFO on Mars or above the moon or something. But there was this one. Now this is been called the Mars skull, but this may also be a helmet. This one here, you can kind of see it pretty clearly. This was taken, I can't remember, probably by Pathfinder or one of the early Mars rovers, going years and years back. I can't remember now exactly when that was taken, but anyway, you can see that if you just type in Mars skull, it will come up in the images online, and it kind of reminds most people of this because it's got these tubular structures, like a breathing apparatus kind of built in, a bit like a stormtrooper helmet. Okay, not like one of these ancient Greek or Roman style warrior helmets, more like a modern, almost robot android style, like that. Okay. Very cool. So what we're looking at here on Mars looks very much like an old school style helmet with an old nose guard. That's it, untreated. This has only been color corrected, this image, by Neville Thompson, and cleaned it up a little bit, and that's it. I mean, I haven't done anything to that at all. That's as it comes. There we have it, and you can see even without treating it, you can see that it's been bent here, the nose piece, the nose guard. So it looks like this is yet more evidence of a war on Mars. Now, whether there were some highly advanced technical armies on Mars or not, I don't know, but most of the things that I've found so far look very ancient, like we would expect to see on Earth 1,000 or 2,000 years ago. Almost like a Roman style helmet or a Greek style helmet or an old warrior style. This kind of looks almost like a Norman helmet, but or a Roman even, but without the crest and a cheek guard here. So this one also looks like a knight's helmet. This looks also like it's been flattened slightly. It's got a lot of damage up here. It's been whacked with a blunt instrument. You can kind of see that more clearly in some of the enhancements, if it will let me show them. Yeah, let's go forward a bit. So a lot of them show signs of actual usage, and not just, there's loads of other stuff in this one. There we are. Just here, there's a big kind of dent in it. And some of the skulls I've found have also got holes in them, like they've been whacked with a hammer or a sharp instrument like a bill hook or something like that, with a sort of point on it that's gone in. And some of the skulls I found even look like they've got bullet holes in them. So I have found lots of other weaponry, things like rounds, like lead shot, and guns, and swords and that kind of thing, spears, that kind of thing. So it looks like at some point in this area, probably many thousands of years ago, there was a battle in Gale Crater involving a number of different types of people, different sizes, and we can see remnants of it here. Now, of course, these may be burial sites that have become uncovered, and these may be burial artifacts, in fact. So it's hard to say either way, but the fact that I found ammunition and weapons lying around as well, now these could have been buried with them as funerary artifacts, as funerary ornaments and things to take to the afterlife, but this may also show that there was a battle in Gale Crater at some point, and there are lots of broken statues and other things as well, so who knows, it could just be a burial site, and what we're seeing are things becoming uncovered on the ground as the soil and sand erodes away, and exposing these helmets and other items in the sand amongst the pebbles and rocks. So there we have it. Let's go back to the image again just quickly, because I didn't really show you it much. This, I think, is pretty convincing. The nose guard especially, and that lovely curve to it and point there, and the reflection. When you enhance it, that gets very, very bright, so it looks to me like a metallic object. Don't be fooled by the texture, because you don't get a lot of texture detail in these unless you've got something up really close like that other one I showed you. So there we have it. There it is further back. Looks much sharper from that distance. And let's do a little close up again. This was my favourite because that's about the right distance to view it from, if you're on a laptop anyway. and I've really brightened it, and you can see there how bright that gets, really reflective, just like you would expect to see on a helmet, much like one of these, with the bright reflection right on the top there. It's actually quite similar in shape to that. Also, I will look through a load more of these and see if I can find one that's more similar, but I haven't found one yet, and it could take me a long time, and I may never find one the same, because of course these helmets are not on Earth, and they may be similar, but they're not the same. You know, if there were humanoids on Mars, so they would have similar stuff, because basically if you have a humanoid skull, you would need a humanoid style helmet to protect it. And the proportions may not be the same, but the basic design is very similar. Okay, so there we have it. Thank you for watching, everybody. I hope that wasn't too long. Please subscribe if you haven't already, and give the thumbs up if you could. It really helps, and I shall see you soon.